and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome to Relax Retro Talk. We are going to be doing our of the year show today, talking about our favorite things kind of throughout the year. 2020 has been a hellacious year for probably most people, but
right.
we're finding the good parts of 2020 and talking about those today.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. I think it's always good to kind of cap the year off, and I mean, considering that this is only episode
I
four,
think it's six. I
five,
think around
six,
six, yeah, of the
episode
official.
six of the
Yeah.
podcast. It's just one of those. It's just one of those things. Yeah. Today we're here to talk about. We're going to talk about the streams. We're going to talk about our own personal thoughts and stuff. And honestly, we're here to talk about you, the
Yeah,
viewers, the
really.
viewers slash listeners.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Just
got it all covered today.
Just to say thanks,
Just to give back to you.
That's right. This is how we give back to you, the humble viewer slash listener.
So, I guess a couple things. Let's get started. Fuck it. Let's get rolling. So we got.
That's right.
This is kind of in a scrambled ass order, but it's in an order. So let's start with the best game we both played this year. So this isn't necessarily games that came out this year. This is the best game Mike and or myself have played this year. So I'll let you kind of go ahead with your answer.
I'll let you take the lead on this one. No, okay. So here's the way that I approach this, right? So, and I was saying to Dookie, when we're talking about best game is really hard to do because there's so many different aspects to it. So the way that I approached best game played this year, I chose the game Valorant, and let me tell you why. The reason why I chose the game Valorant, one, because we played an epic amount of it throughout the summer,
Right.
and two, it was actually the reason why I started this stream. Right, so
Oh, okay.
I started my stream in June of this year, and that was the game that I kind of started with, and that it kind of got me into how to actually stream.
Right.
And so I have to give it some credit in the fact that it is not the best game this year. Okay, and let's make that really clear, right? It's the best game that I played simply because it gave me enough to launch into streaming, and obviously I sunk a good few months of my time into that game. So that would be what I give to best game played this year.
Yeah, that makes sense. I got for mine. I ended up going with. Here's the thing. With a lot of these, especially like favorite retro game streamed, which we'll get to later on, there's so many games. Like I streamed so many games this year that I've forgot what I all streamed. So I put Xenoblade Chronicles. The first one, the second, both of them were so good, but I think I still prefer the first over the second a little bit. But definitely that was probably my favorite game that I streamed this year. It was one of those games. There's not a lot of them nowadays, but it was one of those games that I just wanted to keep playing. Just like Dragon Quest XI and Yakuza 7. Those were probably like the three games in the past like 5 years where I just wanted to stream on nights that I don't even stream because I wanted to just keep playing that game.
Totally. Yeah, and it's funny about Xeno. So I was going to also put Xenoblade Chronicles on. Like that was literally when I read that topic, I was like, it's going to be Xenoblade Chronicles 1. But the thing is that I liked that game, but I don't think I could attribute it to the best
Right.
that I had. Right. As far as it goes, the Xenoblade Chronicles games were so good. They were just so good. So I mean, I completely agree with that. And I mean, with the storyline having those kind of twists and those surprise shots, those are the ones where it's like you're watching that on stream and you see the person's reaction to it, and it just kind of brings it in that much
Right.
further, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. So I guess the next one we'll go into is the best game that we played that was actually released this year.
Right.
There's not a lot I can even attest to because I haven't played a lot of like new games in the past like couple years. But But Yakuza 7 was definitely the best new game that I played. I can't think of another new game that came out this year that I actually played though. So I don't know. That's probably the one.
That's fair. That's fair. The watching Yakuza was really good. It was that was a solid game, I gotta say, from a storyline. And I mean, speaking from somebody that doesn't know anything about Yakuza or anything about the Yakuza storyline or anything along those lines, that was a pretty decent ride to come in, and then being able to see some of the inside jokes and stuff like that, like was it the one year homeless guy that you joined that basically burped, but he was the mage, so he had burps and farts.
Yeah, he would drink a bit of liquor, or he would drink a bit of liquor and then blow through like a lighter or something like that.
That's right.
Because he was the mage. That was so cool how they turned a game that's been like a beat 'em up series since like, I don't know, I want to say 2001, into a turn-based like traditional style JRPG.
Right.
That was cool as hell, because it was already a game that I fucking loved, like a series that I loved, and now it's part of a genre that I love. So it was just kind of all that coming together was pretty great.
Totally. So best game released this year, I had to give it to Final Fantasy VII Remake. I had to do it.
I forgot that came out this year. That was like the beginning of it the beginning of the year or beginning of COVID?
It was May, so it would have been just after the first kind of peak of it.
Yeah.
And then as it was coming down, I gotta say, while there could easily be some argument to it being the quote unquote best game of 2020, I gotta say that game gripped me big time. Like I played that start to finish, and it's been a long time since I played a game where literally I start the game and I can't stop playing it until I finish it. It's not a finished game, and that's why I'm saying asterisks on the best game, because while it was kind of all in one piece, it's still an unfinished game. So I don't think the Game Awards just wrapped up. I'm not upset that it didn't win Game of the Year, because it's not Game of the Year by any means. But for me, it was the best one that I had played that was released here. Such a great game. Everything about that. It just touched every single bit that I was hoping for, aside from the length of the game.
Yeah, a full on FF7 would have been
amazing. Having the entire thing, you wouldn't think that's a whole lot to ask for.
You would not know nowadays. Yeah, like come on.
But I guess Squaresoft's gotta get its money.
I guess so. They gotta get it somehow.
Okay, I've got a really good one, and I am interested in hearing this. What was the worst game this year that you played?
So this is a good one. I can't 100% remember the name of it, but I got it not even that long ago. I think it was like 4 nights maybe, and I was like, you know how like, I don't know when the Switch store sales rotate. Like the PlayStation one, it's like Tuesday at 1 p.m. the new sales come every week, kind of thing, right? So I always check them, and then on the Switch one, I was checking. I think it was like this Friday or this Wednesday or something. But anyways, I was checking it, and there was like this drum game, and I think it was just called Drums or Drum, and I was like, that looks like it could be fun. And I didn't even play like a video or anything. I just looked at the pictures, and I was like, you know what, that'd be cool, because it looked like with the touch screen you could play it mobile and just tap the drums to make the drum sounds. It is the worst game. One of the worst games I've ever played in my life. It's so bad. It was like $2, but I kind of want my $2 back. It was that bad.
That's how you know that the game is really bad, when it's like, normally you'd just be like, whatever, it's $2. Now you're like, no, I need my money back.
It was so bad. And I was like, okay, because it had one of the taglines on like the listing was like, learn to play the drums, learn these combos or whatever, right? These beats. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll play the easiest one, because like I'm a drummer. I guess probably nobody out there knows that I play the drums. And I was like, okay, I'll play the easy one because I don't know how fucking hard how difficult this is gonna get, right? So I put on the easy one, and I put it on the slowest setting because there's like a metronome or whatever, right? And and then it's like the beat was like do, tsh, do, tsh. That was the whole beat. And I was like, okay, let's go somewhere in the middle. Like, I get it, that's a beginner one, and it was like do, tsh, do 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 tsh, do. It was so bad, and then I was okay, we gotta go to the hardest. Let's see what the hardest one is. And the hardest one was literally just like do, tsh, do. It was like the same speed. I had it cranked, like the speed was cranked.
The hard mode is the easy mode.
Yeah, it was so bad. And the worst part is you can't even do a drum roll because the input has such a delay. So if you're like trying to go like like it's just like like it only picks up like every second press of the button. It's so fucking bad.
Now do a drum roll.
Yeah.
One time, one beat.
Dude. It was so bad. It was the worst. It's the worst game I played this year.
It was the little drum game that could. You know,
it tried. Man. It could not.
It tried really
all
hard.
Over my screen here.
And it failed so hard. I thought you were gonna go that it was kind of like along the lines of like Donkey Konga or something like that, right? Like.
Yeah, I wish it would have been like Donkey Konga. I like those. That's the thing. I like those Taiko drum games, like the Taiko Drum Master and stuff.
Yeah.
I love those games, and I should have bought because they made a Taiko Drum Master JRPG, and there's 2 of them, and I should have just got that. I think it was like $18. I should have just got that. I think the battles are like drum battles or something like that, but instead I got this shitty $2 fucking Switch game. Oh my god, it was awful.
That's unfortunate. That's too bad. Okay, let me hit. I have a sort of controversial worst game that I played in 2020. So let me preface with I don't typically play games that are kind of like what you were describing, where I go on the sale and I find something for a low price. I'm like, give it a shot, see what happens. Yeah. Usually when I pick up games, it's because I know they're good, or I've heard about them or something like that, right? I envy the fact that you can just go into the store.
I usually can't. I took a little bit of Mako that evening, and
there you go.
It convinced me. The Mako poisoning was really kicking in that night.
Dude, this game looks so good. The game's called Drums with a Z.
It wasn't even with a Z. It's just called Drums. It's not even exciting enough to have a Z at the end. But yeah, normally I'm the same. Normally I only play games that I'm pretty sure I'm going to like.
Yeah. So I don't tend to go off the beaten path all that much, but the worst game that I played this year was Twilight Princess. It was The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, and I need to emphasize here the Wii version, not the GameCube version. Not the Wii U version, but the Wii version.
Didn't you play the Wii version on your Wii U? But you had to use the Wii controls?
I had to use the Wii controls because I had a copy of the Wii version of the game.
Yeah, that's so weird.
And it's funny because I did go in blind there. I knew that Twilight Princess was going to be a good game. I knew that it was going to be a good game from a storyline point of view, but I didn't realize how bad the waggle controls were. I didn't realize how much it was going to ram that down my throat to play that game. Because I'm walking down a temple, and because I didn't do this enough,
all the sword fighting is just this.
Yeah, it's like every single time I got into a battle, I'm just shaking that stupid Wiimote around, and sometimes it would hit, most times it would miss. I'd be off somewhere else. The controls made me hate that game. And they made me hate that game so bad that I don't think I'll ever pick it back up again. Unfortunately for Twilight Princess.
It's not that great of a game anyways, to be completely honest.
The story was okay leading into where I got. Like, I mean, I couldn't progress any further. I got to the point, because we were doing it as part of our fishing tournament, right?
Right.
I got to the part where I could fish, and it was digging deep to get to the fishing hole. Because I was like, you know what?
It's like not 3 hours, wasn't it? Like 3 hours.
No, it was closer to like 8.
Holy
8 or
shit!
10. It was
Really?
a long time. Yeah, because
Oh, I didn't know that.
you have to beat the first 3 areas to unlock them, and the fishing hole's in the last area.
Oh fuck.
So you have to play through all of that in order just to get in there. And yeah, it was not a fun time. So that one I would say hands down worst. I did not like that game.
The fishing is fun in Twilight Princess.
The fishing
though.
is fun.
Yeah,
Yes,
like I like the actual.
that was
reeling.
okay.
Sometimes if
But
I'm
you know-
lazy, I'll just lay here like this and just be like, like
That's where the motion controls shine.
Mhm.
But don't make me use the motion controls for the entire game.
Yeah.
Or at least give me an option to shut them off. There was no reason why the motion controls needed to be mandatory through that game. You could easily have played that without them because they already had the controller mapping from the GameCube.
Yeah, exactly.
All they would have had to do is put a little switch in the options that says motion controls on, motion controls off.
Yeah, and we're
then I would have finished
offer the ability to play with the classic controller, and that actually
100%.
probably would have been a good game.
Absolutely, I would have been down with that, no problem. But because of it forcing you to do motion controls, I couldn't. That was the easiest one to fill out on this list. I'll tell you right now.
That was the easiest one to answer. Eh?
I know what was the worst one.
Fucking Twilight Princess.
Yeah, and that one might garner a little bit of hate, and I have to say it's not because of the story. It's simply because of the Wii controls. And if you're still telling me you're wrong, I want you to go and play that game and then come back and tell me that I'm wrong.
Oh yeah, Vector makes a good point here. What about Xenoblade Chronicles X? That was also fucking terrible. That would if we were talking about just games that we streamed, that was probably the worst game I streamed. And the worst part about it is like there were really good parts to that game.
Yeah.
But there were so many really bad ones. That one and Xenogears, man. So
do you want to
bad.
know how you can tell that a game that should be good but isn't a good game? Do you want to know the telltale sign for it?
Yeah.
When people tell you that you have to spend 100+ hours
For
to
it to
learn
get
how
good.
to play it.
Yeah.
Once you spend 100 and some hours in this game,
Yeah.
then it's great. Well, you know what? I don't feel like soaking in a month of my time into
shit.
a game that sucks.
That's fucking awful.
No
Final Fantasy 14.
It's like, no offense, but I'm not sinking in that much time. If the game takes 100 hours to be good, it probably sucks.
Yeah, dude, it's not good. Yeah, like I
like
guess
you
we could have like a list of games just scrolling across the screen right now that I did play that were shit. Like I can't remember if Xenogears was this year or not, but if it was,
think it was.
that game, man.
I think it was too. Yeah, I think you did all the Xenos this year.
That was this year. And the worst part about Xenogears was I'm just coming hot off the heels, I believe of. Oh no, did I play Xenogears before Xenoblade? I think I did.
Yeah, you did.
But I was like, everyone was hyping this shit, saying, "Oh my god, this is the fucking greatest game of all time." And then I'm like entered in this clunk fest of a game with a camera that's zoomed in on the floor, forcing you to platform, and if you touch the wall, you fall all the way back to the down
Yeah.
because the wall's made of fucking tape, apparently. I don't know. It's so bad. The game is so bad, and it could have been so good. So a lot of the people that are like, no, like if you look past its issues, like it could have been so good, and that's why it's my favorite game ever. Yeah, well, you know what could have been a fucking good game? Fucking any game could have been good.
Any game. You know what? They could have been really good if they would have just removed the first half of the game and made it better. That would have been so much better.
The second half doesn't even exist in Xenogears. So how about that? I mean, if I wanted to watch Grandpa sitting in his rocking chair telling me about his fucking wartime stories, which I don't think any of my grandpas were in the war, but they could tell me about their shopping experiences at the grocery store. That's just 2 of Xenogears.
Yeah, because that's what you're saying. The second half of the game was basically, instead of playing it, you got a guy sitting in a chair, and you're
a wall of text scrolling by.
You're at a point in time with the consoles where there's no voiceovers here.
Yeah.
You got to read it, and so it's just text.
Yeah. Fuck me, man.
A.
Yeah, Yeah, pretty much. Oh, that was awful, man. The controls in any of the mini games were bad. I would have to say that was maybe the worst one I streamed, because I think that was actually worse than Xenoblade X, because there was a lot of things I did enjoy in X. The game just didn't want to be played. I feel with X is a very like not player friendly game. It does not want you to enjoy it. You have to work to enjoy that game. And then, of course, Final Fantasy XIV lasted 2 streams. We got 7 hours into the game, and I was still handing out fucking pretzels. And that was pretty much enough of that game. Let me tell you.
No.
Imagine if you put... Because you started Final Fantasy IX this year for the first time ever.
Yep.
Imagine throwing 7 hours into that game, and you're still, like... You're doing the fucking sword fight at the fucking beginning of the game. Like, you know, the play part?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, they're like the tutorial and teaching you how to play the game.
Yeah. It's like, fuck that shit, man. People are like, this is the greatest Final Fantasy game of all time. It's like, all right, well, knitting must be your favorite sport then, because this is fucking awful.
How do you like the thought of watching paint dry? How about when paint dries, having it fall off the wall?
Ooh. Action. So it really gets exciting after that 300 years when it starts to chip off the fucking fence.
That's right. Woo, when that first paint chip falls off, you're in for a treat.
Those 300 years are going to be worth it when that paint starts to fucking fall off the wall.
Right. Like, you just got to give it 300 years, okay? And then it gets really good.
It gets really good. It's the best story crafted by
that's how you convince somebody, you know, this game is awful. But if you sink enough time into it, you're gonna think that it's good because you don't want to.
Because you've only been playing this for the last 2 years.
You don't want to admit you wasted 150 hours of your life into a terrible game, so you have to like bring other people down with you, and then when you're down there, it's like, yes, welcome to hell.
Yeah. No shit. The next topic here is. We're talking about favorite stream we watched this year.
Yes.
Favorite, I guess, streamer, favorite stream. I don't know. I think that's the best way to word it.
That's the gist of it. Yeah.
I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, this one's so hard. There's so many good streamers out there.
Yeah.
And it's next to impossible to pick one, right? I have it narrowed down to 2. I have like a high view count streamer, and I have a mid view count streamer.
Yeah, I got you.
And so my high view count streamer, I would say that honestly my absolute favorite stream is DS Koopa, which is Cody, the crew from Pink Gorilla Games. Are based out of Seattle, Washington.
Oh, okay.
And what he does on stream, so for 6 hours, it's the guy who owns a video game shop. He tears apart video game cartridges. He tears apart consoles, controllers. He takes them all apart, solders the boards, cleans them up, fixes them, gets them ready to sell them, and he puts them into his store, and then he sells the stuff. And weekly they do sales where they sell the games and stuff to people at Twitch, and it's got that retro game feel where it's like like when you walk into a video game store and you go and look through. You go and look through the old consoles and you go and look through stuff like that. It just kind of gives you that feeling, right?
Yeah.
He averages though like 2,000 viewers per stream.
Really?
Right.
Oh,
so like, I mean, he's got a ton of viewers. If we're talking about maybe people with a little bit less viewers, and again here I'm tied. Okay, I'm super tied. Number 1, I gotta say, For the Win is on my highest list of people who I watch regularly.
Oh, okay.
He's a variety game streamer. He does tons of different games, just everything. Very engaging in chat. He's got different things going on. Channel rewards for October. He was playing a game where for so many channel points he would put your character in the game, and then he was at the end of the month giving a copy of it away to the Twitch chat.
Okay,
right?
That's cool.
So kind of interactive. And then as an honorable mention here, I gotta throw out to Kami Senin because I feel like that guy does not get enough viewers on his stream.
Yeah, for sure.
For someone who does, look, Mega Man is a difficult game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, playing it normally, speedrunning Mega Man is even more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Speedrunning Mega Man without using any of the in-game items and simply just using your Buster is flat out crazy. Speedrunning Mega Man, not using any of the items, doing your Buster, and playing every single Mega Man in order chronologically from the first game to the last one is absolutely insane. The fact that guy's only got 20 viewers is a shame.
Mm-hmm.
That is a crying shame, and I hope that he just gets loaded down with viewers, because that is unbelievable. Same. And he puts on a good show too in his stream. The same idea, interacts with the chat and stuff like that. So that one was really hard to just pick one. So I'm this is our podcast. We don't have to.
Yeah, we make the rules.
We make the rules.
So for me, I got number one. I got same. I got Call Me Senin. I mean, you mentioned Triple M. You mentioned all the Mega Man stuff. I'm a huge Mega Man fan, so just watching him play through these games, the way he plays through these games is just mind-blowing. He's also like one of the nicest fucking dudes in the world.
Absolutely.
If you guys haven't yet, I did an interview with him. I think it's Let's Talk to Kame Senin, or it's Relax Retro Talk Kame Senin interview or some shit like that. Look that up. That's on the YouTube channel. But also some of the weird shit that happens to that guy, like I can't remember what it was. It was some kind of like, because he does like a lot of gaming marathons. Like he'll just make up a marathon and do it. And there was this one marathon, and he was like, it was hot out, so he was like in his garage or porch or something when he was playing, and there's like an air conditioner, and the air conditioner couldn't like fit properly in the wall, so he's like holding this air conditioner up with his back while playing the game, and then he's like, oh my god. And then he's playing through the Wolfenstein games using a fucking Nintendo 64 steering wheel. Like, who the fuck even thinks of doing that? Who in their right mind?
Absolutely.
It's the most entertaining shit ever, just seeing him be like, oh no, and then he's like trying to, because there's like the little buttons on the steering wheel, and he's like trying to shoot, and he's like,
oh no, Nazis!
Yeah! Dude, it's the best thing ever. If you guys haven't checked out Kame Senin, oh my god, you guys have to check him out. Yeah, I'll put a link to his Twitch in the description as well.
Yeah.
Because he's hilarious, man.
And I do need to asterisk on this question. We weren't allowed to say each other.
Yeah, that's true.
You'll find me most times in Dookie's channel, and you'll typically find him over in mine. Those are easy answers, and that's the same thing through the rest of this list too.
Yeah, like my favorite game to play this year was Mike.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I would have to say probably my second favorite stream to watch, Arcalis. That guy's just entertaining as fuck. He can take like the boringest Phasmophobia solo run and have me still laughing my ass off while I'm watching. So
I wanted to put him on my list, and I'll tell you why I didn't. First off, because I already had like too many as it was.
People.
But the second thing was, you had just introduced me to him like maybe a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. I've rated him probably 3 times since, simply because he's so engaging with chat.
Yeah.
When you send him a Twitch raid, doesn't matter the size of the raid.
He's got that whole production thing set up.
He's got a whole thing. He hits a button, and then now you're in this movie scene, and he's like announcing it from behind, and then he's got triggers that go off.
A wall of heart farts.
I love it. I love it. You know what? If you're a streamer and you're doing that kind of thing, I think it's just a matter of time until you're noticed by enough people that you start skyrocketing off.
Absolutely.
Because that's the type of thing that goes. Like, I mean, the amount of effort and stuff, you can just tell how much he cares about.
Oh yeah, he puts a lot of, like, there's so many different even the transitions are like videos. Yeah. Like, he's got that normal view, like when he has the normal view, it's like a regular his Twitch layout, like a regular one. It's an event just going to that and watching him suffer playing fucking Super Mario Sunshine, man.
Oh man,
it's the best.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Let's see. I'm just gonna.
I think we're on YouTube channels.
Yes. Okay. Favorite / most watched YouTube channels this year. So I'll go. I guess I'll go first with this one. There's a couple. I got kind of. I only wrote down one, but there's probably two here. One I watch almost every day. It's just called MMA on Point. They do like mixed martial arts videos and usually like top tens and stuff. And they release like 4 fucking videos a week. So I'll like if I get home from work or something, I gotta make something to eat quick. And then I'll throw it on my phone and just set it. I got like a little dock thing. I'll just set it up and I'll just watch that while I eat and then go back to work. Like,
Nice.
I watch that probably more than anything else. Would be that. And then of course Donkey, video game Donkey.
Nice.
That guy's
Yeah.
fucking hilarious.
Classic.
And now he's got his shitty content schedule. Like he's making fun
Among
of.
Us.
He's doing this thing now where he's making fun of all the like the YouTube video like the mainstream YouTube guys and like Twitch streamers and stuff. So he's making these terrible videos. And I was watching him. He was even on Twitch the other night, and everyone was like, "Donkey, no, go back to your regular, like make your regular videos. This is so sad." And he's like, "Nope. You had your chance. Only bad videos from here on out." And he's going out. He's got like this shitty Jake Paul poster taped to his wall that keeps falling off. And his wife has it like, there's so much tape on this poster you can hardly see the poster now because it keeps falling off the wall. Holy fuck. And then he did a, it wasn't even a video, it was a stream where he was like, because you know how like the number one thing on YouTube all the time is those shitty like react videos, like
Okay, yeah.
and so he's watching this fucking, I don't know if it's a Jake Paul or Logan Paul video. It's a 5-minute video. It took him an hour and a half to get through it because he'd pause and react, like overreact to everything in like every like 2 seconds. It was so bad, but so good.
Funny.
It was just hilarious. That guy's just fucking hilarious.
Too funny. Way too funny. So here's the thing. I don't do a whole lot of YouTube myself, but the ones that I do typically use are for view, not use. The ones that I do typically view are for helping me figure out things with stream, how to figure out how to do stuff and whatnot. And I think out of all of the YouTube channels that I have subscribed to or that I've done anything with, I got to throw it to this guy. His name's Nutty. He goes by Nutty on YouTube. He has been single-handedly the most helpful to me for all things OBS, for all things Streamlabs, for Twitch streaming, for everything. Simply because he's really good at explaining like how to do stuff. Really good at kind of being like, look, this is what you want to do. Here's how you do it. And if you have questions, throw them in the comments. Or there was one time where I was getting this random lag, right? This random lag spike would just come up in OBS and it would start slowing everything down. And he made a video that was basically like, you clicked on this link because you're having random lag spikes. Everybody on YouTube is telling you to do these 5 things, which is literally like I literally had clicked through.
The same fucking thing.
And he's like, the reason why none of that worked is because they're for specific problems. Here's what you can check specifically just to look for these types of problems that you might have with your stream. And wouldn't you know it, it was literally the first thing that he mentioned that was the problem from my side of the house. So it's just the way that he explains it, and the fact that his content is based 100% around helping you get the best possible stream. I have watched that guy's videos so many times. So I would give it to him. Maybe a combo effort between Nutty and then this other person named JRTV, JAYARE TV. That person does literally the exact same thing except for DaVinci Resolve, and he single-handedly is the reason why I was to do any level of animation.
That's who taught you how to do that.
Yeah,
that intro and stuff.
Yeah, like the intro video, I created that from a PNG image. That started as a PNG image, and because of JRTV's videos, he helped me basically create an animation and learn how to do it. So if you're in my stream, you see a transition, the transition between my different things. He's the guy to thank for that, right? And Nutty's the reason why I was able even to put the transition into Streamlabs. So with all of them combined, incredible resources on Twitch, right? Like, there's so many other people too, but those two single-handedly are the reason why I was actually even able to get to where I'm at right now. So,
was Nutty the guy that you showed me to do the the thing.
The channel points.
Yeah,
Connection
yeah,
points.
yeah. He's very good because almost every person you go to, if they're like if you go to like a YouTube for any tutorial ever, you get like some 13-year-old that's like,
Hi, my name is Darylon, and 16, and I'm going to show you on Windows Movie Maker how to move your mom into the frame. So you start by...
and it's just like that for like half an hour.
There's typically two different types of how-to videos. There's that one, and then there's, yo, what's up? My name is Mike. I'm here to help you guys out here. Yo, click that, like, smash that like button right now. We gotta click. I'm gonna show you how to do this. And then by the time you get to the meat of the video, he's like, okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is go to Nutty's YouTube video and click on that link. They just point it out at somebody else. They're just like, this is what I stole from someone else, but I gotta be all animated and be like, yo, what's up, people? I'm getting click link buttons. I don't know
Click
what
all
he
link
rolled.
buttons.
He rolled
Yeah,
for
and they're
Brooklyn
always
accent.
so
He
long.
rolled.
You gotta skip through like 20 minutes of shit to get to where
Watch
they're actually
what's
helping you.
The first third of the video is almost entirely skippable almost every single time. The
It's
first
awful.
third, just click that in the timeline. Chances are you're gonna just skip everything. The ad, you'll skip the intro, you'll skip the yo, what's up? My name is Mike, and I'm
Let me tell you about NordVPN, boys. Let me tell you.
It's too funny because by the time you get past all of that, they just point you to somebody. They're just like, hey, this is what someone else did, so that'll work. Thanks
Yeah.
for the money, tips, right? So yeah,
that's
pretty much.
awful. And then I guess the next question is console you played the most this year. For myself,
Yeah.
I gotta go with Nintendo Switch. I feel like the only game I haven't played on Nintendo Switch was Yakuza 7. Every other game I think I played this year, if it wasn't like a retro game, it was on my my Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with you here. No, it's no contest, and I'll tell you the reason why it's no contest, because the Switch is portable. That's
Yep.
the only reason why. If we were not talking about the portable aspect of things, I think I would have to give it to the PS4, or it would be really, really close, right?
Mhm.
But I mean, I got to tell you, that Switch comes with me. If I leave the house, and I mean, this year, that doesn't count so much. But years before,
Yeah.
you know, when I leave the house, that thing's with me all the time, right?
Yeah.
And especially when I first started streaming, the Switch is a no-brainer because it's got access to the old games. We've done so many things through Nintendo's online
This
service.
podcast started because
It
of
started there.
the Switch's online ability to play old games, which is something that they're the dumbest fucking company ever for not fully capitalizing on. Like, are you kidding me? That's the best thing. That is the best, one of the best features of the Switch. If they cranked up their online capabilities and put like the entire NES and Super NES library on there, holy fuck, we would be playing that all the time.
I don't think I'd ever shut it off. So, and I mean, the thing is, they were doing the mini consoles and they stopped, right?
Yeah.
And so now they're releasing the controllers for the Switch.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, so I mean, if you want an NES or an SNES controller for your Switch, you can do that.
That's
they're,
cool.
They're wireless; they just connect into your Switch like a normal controller does, right? I'm thinking, part of me is thinking that they're going to come out with a Nintendo 64 online service sometime here, and they'll sell those controllers because they patented the mini
one. This is the worst one though.
Well, I mean, where else? They got to go in chronological order.
Yeah,
they did NES, SNES, 64 is coming, and then my hope is that they get to the GameCube.
That would be great.
There's so many GameCube games that I missed out that I think I need to play just for the fact that they were out there, right? But,
yeah, there's a lot of good ones.
Yeah, so it's interesting, but yeah, I agree with you. Switch was definitely a thing. If PC was an option, I would have wrote it though, because my PC usage is like 10 to 1 to all consoles, but the Switch was most definitely my most played console. But the PlayStation 2 really close behind it. I do have to say that.
That's funny. I got for the Switch, like, because I'm doing this Canic only run of Dragon Quest 2. I've been streaming that, but all my offline grinding is pretty much in handheld mode. Like, I'll be like sitting at my office desk, and in between calls and stuff, I'm just grinding, man. Because I gotta get so over level in order to beat this run.
That's right.
That it's just like it's so easy even to just watch a movie and grind.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Yeah.
it's
Well, yeah.
the best for
I
JRPGs.
I thought the portability, when they announced the Switch, I thought the portability was the most gimmicky thing they've come
Yeah, I
up
thought it
with
was going
yet.
to be a detriment to the console.
And it turns out it's probably my favorite thing about it. So
Yep.
I'm willing to swallow that bias. I'm a previous Wii U owner, so you gotta excuse me when I thought that Nintendo was basically gonna just suck. But
Yeah.
but they nailed it. The Switch is good. Now I don't like what I'm seeing on the horizon with the Switch Pro and some of the other stuff
There's a
that's
Switch
coming.
Pro coming out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's not like official announced yet,
Oh.
but it's like rumor mill circulating.
Oh, okay. What's the
I was
negatives?
talking with, yeah, well, I mean, it looks like the Switch Lite, except from what I understand, the guts are going to be upgraded to play the latest games. Now, I was talking with some friends of mine, and I said, I think the only way that I would get behind the Switch Pro, because they're basically doing what they did with the DS, right? They did the DS, they did the 3DS, and now
Oh.
they've moved to the Switch, and they're going to move
Well,
to
even the
like an
DS
upgraded
Lite,
version
the
of it.
DSi,
Of course, and
like,
that's what I mean is that they do this where it's the same console, but it's a little bit different. If they're going to increase the guts, they're set up so perfectly right now where they can just sell you a new tablet and let you keep everything else the same. Keep the Joy-Cons, keep the dock, keep the everything you've got. Just sell me the tablet that I can take the old tablet out, put the new tablet in, and keep going. Right?
that would be
Then
the
I'll
best way
buy
they
your
could do
Switch
it.
Pro.
Yeah.
But if you force me to buy a $400 console because you're just re-releasing the existing Switch with some upgraded hardware, I'm probably going to tap out and then
Yeah,
see
not
previous
buying that.
conversation about launch console.
Yeah. See the past 2 fucking podcasts. Yeah, no, that's my big thing with the Switch Lite is it would have cost them what, 2 cents to fucking put a little thing in the bottom so you could still dock it if you wanted to, and then they're not losing money because then you have to go buy Switch controllers anyways, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
once it's docked.
I truly don't understand. I get what they were trying to do with the Switch Lite, and okay, make it so that the Joy-Cons don't remove, but taking away the dock aspect of things, making it strictly portable. Like, I understand what they're doing is they're trying to create a
cheaper
replacement for the 3DS, basically.
Yeah.
Because they want to put the 3DS out to pasture and they want to put the Switch in place, but the price difference doesn't negate what you lose.
No, it's not
The
worth
cost of
it.
the Switch is $299. The cost of the Switch Lite is $219. So for $80, I get removable controllers and the ability to dock
Dock it
and
into
the
your
ability
TV.
to plug in USB-C devices. If I wanted to
Yeah.
plug in a network adapter, I can. If I want to plug in a controller, I can. If I want
Yeah.
to plug in a Bluetooth adapter so I can use a headset, I can. Not with a Switch Lite though.
Yeah, the Switch Lite is not worth it at all. My nephews each have one. And I was like, oh yeah, let's play this. And I had my own Switch controllers I brought along to play with them.
Mhm.
Can't do it. Can't
No.
do it.
Nope.
It's like, what the hell? So you can never play 2-player unless it's like online, basically, with the Switch Lite.
So, I understand the need for a lower priced Switch, but that's the wrong way to go about it. Make the Joy Cons not removable. I'm okay with that, but really, you took the USB-C port out.
Yeah.
Come on, Nintendo,
Just
do
slap
better,
her on
Nintendo,
there.
do better.
And then the next one we got is mobile and PC games you played the most this year.
Yes.
And for you, I guess you can also answer your favorite because I don't play a lot of PC games, so I got like the 2 games I played are the 2 that I have written down here. So
Okay.
so if you want to also add your favorite as well as the one you played the most,
Yeah.
you can go ahead
Well,
with that.
Yeah, I didn't really put a favorite down per se. I kind of went more just with what I had. So when it comes to mobile games, I don't really play a lot of mobile games.
Same.
I just don't. You know, the phone's never been something that I've enjoyed playing games on, with the exception of the games like, you know, the Candy Crushes and the ones that you play, the pooping games, basically. When you need something to do while you're doing your
pooping.
business.
Yeah, I got
You know, and so for mobile games, honestly, I couldn't pick a favorite because I could only think of 2 games that I actually played on my phone.
Yeah, same.
One of which was Brave Exvius.
Oh, I haven't played
And the
that in a long time.
And the second one, and the one that I had as my choice here, was Bomber Grounds.
Yeah. I got
And
Among Us and Bomber Grounds for mobile.
yeah, and I guess I didn't think about Among Us, but I haven't really played a whole. But as far as it goes, yeah, mobile games are kind of what they are. But the thing is that I don't know. I mean, they're fun for what it is. Bomber Grounds was great. I enjoyed that game.
Yeah,
that was a lot
game's
of fun.
Yeah.
But they always have the same thing where you hit that wall and your choice is either give the game money or quit playing.
That's every mobile game ever fucking made, it seems like.
As far as it goes for a PC game, I went with Remnant.
That game looked good.
I gotta say, that game was a sleeper and a half.
Did you guys beat it?
Yep, we beat.
Oh,
the
you did beat it. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
We're not done with it yet, but I mean, we set it aside a little bit for the time being. But man, oh man, that game was a sleeper. Like, I got it for free from the Epic Game Store because Epic gives games away for free every month. We didn't play that game at all when I picked it up, and then on a whim, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Finney, it might have been Bubs. They were like, "Hey, we have this game, let's play it." Mm-hmm. So we were like, "Okay, let's give it a shot." Not really thinking much of it, and then we fired it up, and we're like, "Wow, this game is really good."
Yeah, just watching. I honestly, like, I'm not usually like a fan of that kind of game, but goddamn, that looked fun. Like, fun as fuck.
It took the best elements from Dark Souls. And it took the best elements from like any other RPGs or it was just a lot of fun. Now playing it solo, I don't think would be as much fun as playing it with friends.
Yeah, I
but
can see that.
With that being, part of it was it was one of my favorites because part of it I think I didn't have my hype meter on it at all.
That makes a huge difference too. You're not expecting it to be that fucking good.
Yeah, and it just blew me away. So yeah, Remnant: Rise from the Ashes, fantastic game, absolutely fantastic game.
Yeah, that was so good. For my most played PC game, I got Phasmophobia because it's the only I think it's the only PC game I have. So
great game though.
It is fun. And another one that's only fun when you play with your friends though.
Exactly. That is so much the case with games like that, right? Like and I guess it depends on what you're going for because I watch people solo that game, but they're doing it for the challenge, right?
Yeah.
There's people who go in there and they're like, I'm not going to use any items. I'm going to figure out what ghost it is. I'm going to do all this stuff. I'm going to do it all solo. I'm going to do it on professional mode, and just for the challenge side of the house, right? But I mean, that game is the most fun when we're all walking through a house and you and me are talking about gas station burritos.
Yeah.
And it's just something that like you can come together with a group of friends and just do something fun.
Fuck around, have a good time.
Great game.
Yeah.
Absolutely great game.
Was that what was your most played PC game then, do you think, though, this year?
That's such a tough game. A tough one to call again because the thing is like Valorant is up there.
Yeah,
big time.
You played like that for like the whole summer, pretty much.
Probably the first 2 months. So June, July, August, we were doing nothing but Valorant, basically.
Right.
Stardew Valley.
Oh yeah, you guys played a lot of that this year too.
If we're talking about most played PC game of all time, that's Diablo 3, hands down.
Yeah.
I have got the character that I'm playing right now has 400 some hours just on that one character.
That's ridiculous.
But I mean, the game came out in 2000 and what did we figure it was out 2012 or something like that? So I mean, we're talking about a game that's been out for like 8 years, right? Like, ludicrous amount. It's a good game because you keep coming back to it and you keep playing it. That's how you can just tell. No, people are going to argue and say, "Oh, that game sucked. The story was well." I'm not talking about the story. I'm talking about getting together with a group of buddies and just stomping through some dungeons, picking up some items, doing a thing. So
sometimes gameplay can trump like story and make it just a way better game. I mean, nobody plays Mega Man because of the story. Like nobody plays that because of the story.
That's right. Yeah. That is definitely the case for Diablo 3 because if we're talking story, that's just not happening. The Diablo 3 story. I'm sorry. Try it again for Diablo 4, but 3 was really bad. The story was really bad. The gameplay, that's cool.
Because you guys said the story for the second one was still good. Oh, I got a bunch of. Yeah, go ahead. I got a bunch of questions here.
Yeah, let's take a chat break. What's going on? What's going on in the world?
So I got our boy Kame Senin Kami Seaman himself here in the chat. So he's saying, he said, Nintendo do better. I'm hearing this daily all month long. Yeah, there's a huge... People are finally giving Nintendo what they deserve this month. Let me tell you.
It's about time.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we are in 2020. If you do not have the ability to have an online friends list and party up with your friends on a console, come on, that's just lazy.
I mean, and they've been cease and desisting left, right, and center. Like, if you have a kid named freaking Mario
Zelda.
or anything, I'm pretty sure Nintendo now owns your child.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my god. And then he said Bomber Grounds, and then he can't play it on mobile, but you do like me some Bomber Grounds.
Yes.
He said he disagrees about the money wall on Bomber Grounds. They offer ways to earn gems for free, and there's no advantage.
100%.
Yeah, that's just
100%.
costumes for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine when it's like that. It's a skill game, much like chess, just with cosmetics, just that don't do anything. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, no, and I don't mean to make it sound like it has a pay-to-win aspect of it, but at a certain point with Bomber Grounds, if you're not playing with friends, the only thing in that game, aside from just playing it, is to give them money to unlock cosmetic items, right?
And there's only like the one map, really, isn't there? From what I played,
think there's 4.
Oh,
there's
is there
4 maps? Yeah, there's a decent mix. It's a good game for what it is, but I'm not spending hours playing Bomber Grounds.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, if we were to do a night where we all play that game, 100%. That's fantastic.
Especially if you can take over a server, like, because what we were doing that one night with Kame on his stream, where it's like pretty much everybody ends up on the same fucking server anyways, so it was great that way.
So good. Yeah, absolutely.
But the next question here is favorite and or most listened to podcast of the year. Yet again, I'm gonna let you answer this one first.
Yeah, so I love podcasts. I do a ton of I have done a ton of podcasts because I have a about an hour long travel back and forth to work every single day. When COVID hit, though, I don't travel for work anymore.
Yeah.
Now I just come downstairs.
That's the same here. I haven't been listening to nearly as many like podcasts as I usually do this year.
Yeah, so since there's a non-existent commute, I haven't been doing a whole lot of podcasts. But with that being said, my number one favorite podcast to listen to out of all of the podcasts that I sub to has to be one called Darknet Diaries. And what this is a cybersecurity kind of story, like stories of the dark web. Ooh. And like of hacking and stuff that's gone down like that before, and it's incredibly engaging. It's really interesting to listen to. That one and 20,000 Hertz, I think it's called, which is about all things sound. So like the sound effects in old timey movies, and they go through how they created them and the different things and the different parts of it and stuff. Incredibly awesome. Those two podcasts are just fantastic podcasts. I love them.
Yeah, that's the same with me. I usually I don't travel for work. Like I just usually walk to work. Like I work like a block or 3 from my house, so I usually walk. But I've always traveled to like martial arts classes, and it's like an hour and a half drive there, and then an hour and a half drive back. So I'm usually listening to fuckloads of podcasts, but this year I pretty much the one I've listened to the most is probably This Guy Are Sick. They're a just kind of an entertainment and media podcast. They just kind of talk about all things and tell some hilarious fucking stories amongst themselves. It's just a dude and his friends basically just reminiscing about games and movies and the state of society as a whole. Pretty much, it's pretty good. So you guys can check that out. That's on. I listen to all mine on Spotify. What do you use for podcasts usually? I'm old and hate to change things, so I'm still on Apple Podcasts. Oh, okay.
I do have Spotify, and I do have access to the podcast there. But since I've got all my listening set up on the Apple side of the house, I just kind of
keep
going down that road.
But yeah, and I think Finney uses like a Google one. What's the Google one called?
Yeah.
Do you know?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
but
neither do I.
If you're in chat and you'd use the Google thing, throw it in chat.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
say some of my favorite podcasts are ones where it's just a group of people hanging out, like doing kind of what we do, right?
Mhm.
Where
We're not like
where
today in the
yeah,
news.
like it's not like a studio type of thing where
Mhm.
we're just two guys with opinions. We talk about stuff, and maybe you resonate with that, maybe you don't, maybe that's not the case, but it's just something that to listen to that's light, and you don't have to listen to. And today, this many people died of coronavirus.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, this many people will die of coronavirus. Like it's like, come
Yeah.
on, okay? Like I just wanna shut that like adult side of my brain off for a little
Mhm.
while and simply just talk about something
Just
that's
hang
that's
out,
fun.
talk
Just
about
hang out, man.
games. Just relax and talk about some retro shit.
That's right. Yeah.
Even though we're talking about
Google.
nothing retro today,
Yeah,
pretty much.
Google Play used to be used for music, but apparently it got killed and rolled into YouTube Music, and now it's awful. So I'm being
Oh.
told stay away from that.
Oh, okay. I didn't even. Yeah, maybe that's why I don't know what it is.
There it is. I mean, hey, it makes sense.
And then most active follower. So
Ooh,
from my end, this was the easiest choice for me, and it's
okay.
it's got to be my boy Vector. Dude's there
Yeah.
all the time. Like
Yeah.
I think like Finney's there all the time, but Vector is there all the time. Like I'm not even sure. I'm thinking Vector's hanging out there when I'm not even online. Like just
Yeah.
like he's always there, man. I appreciate the hell of it.
Absolutely.
It's fucking amazing. I love the support. So Vector, you are the best guy of 2020 for my stream. I gotta say, it's nice having like. There's nothing shittier than when you're streaming to 0 viewers. Like that's the shittiest thing ever. And you're just
Yeah, and then
talking to
you
your. It's just you sitting
well,
there talking to yourself while playing video
yeah,
games.
it's 0, and then you see the viewer kick up from 0 to 1, and you're like, oh, don't say anything about that one viewer, but quick, we gotta do something. We gotta bring up the content a little bit. So he
Don't
doesn't leave.
scare him away.
And then, it goes from 1 to 0, and you're like, I no.
Yeah, fuck. But
No,
no, it's
yeah,
nice having
absolutely.
regulars is the best thing for any stream. Having
Yeah,
regulars,
big time,
it's the best.
big time.
It's nice when you get a raid. Raids are great, but having your regulars come out all the time is the best. And sometimes
Plus,
people can't make it, and that's fine. But when they all can, it just makes the stream 10 times better. I
that's
feel.
right. Yeah, having somebody else in your corner helping promote your channel out there too.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. And I know you had mentioned Finney, and look, here's the thing, okay? We made a deal. We can't just put Finney as the answer for every one of these questions
Yeah.
either.
Finney's always there too. Like
Finney's
he's
always
there
there too.
a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Vector gets the Dukio 3 Follower of the Year award.
Yeah.
Like I had mentioned, people who are there and who promote the channel, and this year I think, because and we're talking about doing this like an annual thing, which I think
Yeah.
is a really cool thing. So, this year my most active follower, I got to say, the DG Online 2020 most active follower award, I got to give to my good buddy Lord Zabu.
Oh
And
yeah,
the
he's
reason
there
for
almost
it
all the time.
is the exact same reasons that you had mentioned. He's gone to other streamers for me, okay, and he said, hey, you know what? Here's a guy who's streaming. You should go and throw him a raid. And he's brought people into my stream. He's here. He's engaging. When we do D&D, he's got like so I'm the guy behind the keyboard when we're doing Dungeons and Dragons on Sunday nights, right?
Yeah.
And so Zabu will be in chat, okay, and he'll be like throwing stuff out there, and he's the king of the puns. Like if it's a pun, that guy's got it, and he throws it into chat. He's got people now in my D&D session who weren't in the stream whatsoever,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh hey, do you think Zabu's gonna come tonight? Because I really like listening to his puns when he throws them. And they're saying that like when we're not even live yet. So
Oh,
I mean
that's good. That's
says
awesome.
that says a lot. And so honestly, I do want to just say thank you very much. And I don't mean to point one person out and not identify every single one of my
Mhm.
followers. I'm sure you're gonna agree on the same side.
Yeah.
I cannot appreciate you guys enough. I mean, I started my stream here in June of this year, and in a short 6 months, you guys have helped make this a community. And then when Dookie and I we were talking behind the scenes, we were like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should connect our Discords, because I was saying to Dookie, like, look, I could set up a Discord, but you and I both know we're gonna have to share Finney. and we're going to have to share buffs. And all these people that we already have connections for, why don't we just kind of join forces, and we're in the same spot. The first thing that you said was, well, I don't know, let me think about it, because I have my group of followers, and I've got these people. I don't want to do something that's going to change any of that. And, and we always agreed from day one, if anything ever happened with that it would be no problem, because we're not here to raise any waves with that community. But I will say your community has come over onto my side of the fence, and my community has come over to your side of the fence, and we've all kind of become one big happy family together.
Speaking of which, there is going to be some changes coming up very shortly, actually, with the Discord and all that. We are, as you see at the bottom of our screen right now, we've come up with a name. Dude, how long did it take us to fucking come up with a name? Like
way longer than I care to admit right now.
It was like months trying to come up with like a name that sounded good.
And it wasn't like we forgot. It was like daily messages.
Yeah,
like,
we were messaging each other back and forth like 3 times a day. What about this one? That sounds really bad.
Yeah, that's okay, but how about like if we turn it into this direction? Well, I don't know. That's not what I'm looking for yet, but
we needed to get the 2 thumbs up. And most of the time, if I thought it was crap, I would still send it your way, and then you would thankfully tell me it was also crap, and I was like, okay, good, because what if we had that as our name and it was crap? So we're going to be going by the luminaries of the live stream. The Discord will be changing. We're not going to lose anything. We're just going to be changing some of the chat things around a little bit, and the name, and of course the logo is going to be the Zenithian sword and Buster sword, stuff like that. So I gotta give props to Mike, because he's the Discord master. I can't do fuck all in Discord. He actually made my Discord, so anyone that's like, Mike's taking over the Discord, no, he made
Turns
the fucker.
Out I was here all along.
Yeah, he made the Discord at the very beginning.
And when we're talking about changes in Discord, keep in mind, this is not changes like any of the channels are changing or anyone's leaving or any of the rules. What we're doing is we're just going to clean up the channels a little bit, so they're not just one big mash of text and one big mash of video. And we do have to introduce some security, because now that we've got a decent amount of people coming into the stream, we have to just put some safeguards in place that are going to keep the Discord server from being banned.
Yeah, exactly.
Because unfortunately, while you guys are amazing, there's a lot of people out there who just want to see the world burn a little bit. We'll maybe what we can do, Duke, is we can send out kind of like a quick rundown about some of the stuff. We're not talking changes like any content or anything's actually changing. It's just going to be a little bit easier to find stuff. That's all.
Yep, and it's going to be all under one banner instead of
absolutely.
Yeah.
So we just went. So you said your follower of the year was Vector. My follower of the year was Lord Zod.
We're on best moderator mod of the year. Now this was a close one, because I was going to say you, because I think you've killed more bots this year on my stream than Finney has. But Finney's, like we said, Finney's always fucking there. So I had to give this one to Finney, but that was a close one. Because there have been a couple times Finney was snoozing. I had to kill bots on my own. But
that's right.
You've killed your fair share of bots, and I know Finney was fucking the leader of the bot massacre on your stream. Was that 2 nights in a row, or that one night? It was holy fuck, dude. It was like watching a Samurai Jack episode.
I'm so glad that you said Finney too, because here's the thing. We agreed that we could only put his name down one. The answers here, and so there was no better slot for him than saying best mod. 100%, dude. Finney, I think we did a death count. Within like 2 minutes, the guy swatted 13 bots. I actually have here in my notes, it says best mod Finney, the fastest banhammer in the West. It's like, and like we were on voice, he bans the one, bans the second one, and then all of a sudden it was like, and he was like, oh no you don't, and it was just a death counter. Yeah, it was just a death counter in chat of like all the people that just got banned. So honestly, Finney, I could have put your name across the way on all of this stuff. I think, and I mean not to speak on behalf of Duke, but just having you in chat is always been. You're here. You engage with us. You keep our stream safe. Man, I have Finney on my stream more often than not these days. And one of these days, he's just going to become a streamer with us.
I don't think
And
he's.
then
I don't think that's ever gonna happen. Like,
we'll just put another window down here, right?
it's gonna be like, I think in 18 years when his kids are all moved out. That's
Yeah,
when
that's
Finney.
right.
Finney will
No,
finally
he's
have his
like,
first
nah,
stream.
he's not-
Finney will have his first stream in 18 years, and he's gonna have more followers than both of us combined in his first month of streaming. Because everyone's gonna be like,
That's right.
he's fucking streaming finally.
Finally?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
I have
so-
actually a funny story. First of all, thank you, Adamantium, for the follow. I see who
Ooh,
followed
nice.
now. But
Adam's a good guy.
so I have a funny story. It was Ian. I was playing. I can't remember what I was playing. I think it was Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, and Adamantium or Ian was trying to set up that game night that we were gonna play Harmony of Despair, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, DG and that other streamer wanted to do. I was thinking we could all do a Harmony of Despair night, and I was like, well, who's that other streamer? He's like, I can't remember his name, and I can't believe I forgot to follow him, and everyone was just giving him a hard time, like, how could you forget to follow a streamer if you were watching them the whole time? And I was like, it happens, and then I was like, wait, are you talking about Finney? And he's like, oh yeah, that sounds familiar. I was like, Finney doesn't stream, he just hangs out with Mike and me and Mike all the time. He's like, oh good, and he's like, now I don't feel so bad.
That's right. Yeah. Oh man, too funny. But yeah, no, absolutely, Finney. Can't thank you enough for being around here. Appreciate you immensely.
Yeah, dude.
He bought me this coffee mug too.
Oh,
a few
nice.
years ago.
The next topic we got here is most active in Discord. I think we got to give it to 3 people across the board. We got to give it to Vector, Lord Zabu, and Grenick. It's weird. Grenick's been so busy. I haven't seen Grenick in a while other than the Discord. He'll just dump like all these fucking memes in the Discord.
Is he the one that's putting the videos in clips? Did he put the Hot Pocket Ace Attorney at Law?
Yes, I think that was Grenick posted that one too. Yeah.
Phoenix Wright. The Phoenix Wright video where they're like arguing about that. I laughed way too hard at that video. Like just
dude.
Unbelievably. Like I can't even. No, I have literally the exact same 3 people listed in here.
Grenick, the Snoss boss, has been killing it in the Discord.
Vector was the first person I put down on my list because I see him most often in Discord, and then he is like, without a shadow of a doubt, the most regular contributor outside of you and I and Finney to the food.
The fooding.
Right, like we are constantly posting, like trying to one up each other with like our delicious dishes. Delicious dishes. That should be a name of it. I gotta say, so between Vector and Zabu and Grenick, you guys are helping keep the Discord alive. And I mean, obviously you and I like I said, I can't pick you and you can't pick me. But I mean, Finney is also on my list too as someone, because I mean he's posting all the tasty smoked meats in there. And mouth is drooling thinking about that brisket.
Vector's Sunday breakfast posts all the
Sunday
time.
breakfast posts. That's what I'm saying. He's consistent.
Yeah, he's
like,
consistent
every single Sunday. Every single Sunday, he's posting his breakfast.
I don't even
and it always looks
post
delicious.
Something consistently like that in the Discord. And then we're down to kind of 2 more here. We got favorite retro game streamed this year. I'll let you go ahead on this one.
Okay, I decided on the best retro game that I streamed this year was Choplifter.
That was fun.
It was fun. And it was hilarious, and it was the reason why I'm saying that, and because we're specifically talking about streaming it, okay? We're specifically talking about streaming it. When I was talking about like Choplifter, and people are like, "Wow, he's actually completing some of these levels. I didn't think you could ever get past level 1."
You got further than I ever got.
And then I got to the point because I was like, I have no problems with level 1 or level 2. It's level 3 that's literally impossible. You can't beat it. And then I died, and the PC demo of it was playing, and literally died at the same spot.
Like immediately, it was like it was like 3 lives gone in a fucking millisecond.
And the other reason why I chose the Master Systems games was because that was my big like happy birthday to my older bro stream, and so that stream meant a lot to me. That was hands down the biggest and best stream that I've done to date.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean that's just it. So I see a comment here from Adam saying Harmony of Despair, but I don't consider Harmony of Despair a retro game.
No, neither. That's a PS3.
I think retro cuts off at Genesis. I think Genesis and down is retro.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Like
That would be-
sometimes I think PS1, because like older PS1 games, like
It's tough. That's a tough call because the thing is, see, for me, like when I think back, if I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna play retro games tonight, it's like 16-bit or 8-bit.
Yeah,
that's it.
for the most part.
If I go above that, I don't feel it's retro anymore. But I mean,
think
I'm
it
also
is.
old now.
I think
so...
it is now. I think the problem is when you become retro. Nothing else
For me,
does.
the streamer, I'm now a retro streamer, right? Like, it's like, oh man, you play the PS3? That's like a baby's toy.
Yeah, fuck. Yes.
But no, it's that would be it. Hey, now here's the thing: I don't do a lot of retro gaming, and you
That's
do.
true.
So I don't know how you possibly came up with an answer.
Yeah,
for
this was
one, 'cause
hard.
You live in retro land, like that's why this word right up here says retro, right? Like,
Yeah, I think it's here on mine. Yeah, it's up here on mine. But yeah, it's tough because the big thing is I forget what games I streamed all year. Like there's games that I probably played last year that I just don't remember if I played this year or last year. I narrowed it down to 2.5, let's say.
okay, fair
So
enough.
I got Dragon Quest V. I'm kind of streaming that right now. It's
Right.
just so nice. I didn't play a lot of familiar games this year. This was the year I wanted to play new games. So I played all the Xenogears, Xenoblade, all those games. Yakuza 7, of course, was a brand new game. I played a lot of new games that I never played this year, including the Castlevania games. Like I said, I've mentioned before, I only played Castlevania 1 to Bloodlines, and then 64, and then Lords of Shadow. So like I missed everything between 64.
Like a bunch in the middle.
Yeah.
Including Symphony of the Night.
No, I had played Symphony
you
of the
had
Night.
Symphony-
Yeah, I did
okay,
64 and Symphony of the Night, and then everything between that and Lords of Shadow, I never played. So it depends what you consider retro, but I got Dragon Quest V, I got Castlevania Bloodlines, which is definitely retro, but then I've got the Castlevania game that I'm hopefully finishing tomorrow morning, Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. That game is so fucking good, man. I think I like it better than Symphony of the Night, but it depends. Do you consider the Game Boy Advance retro? Because it's a GBA game.
Yeah, it's again, right?
I think I would consider the GBA retro, but not the DS. Maybe, you know what I mean? That would kind of be the divide.
I think I would agree with that. Yeah, I think I would agree with
Aria of Sorrow is just I've had people in my stream chat saying that's kind of blasphemy because Symphony of the Night is the better game, and it might be, but because I've played Symphony of the Night a few times, Aria of Sorrow is all this new stuff, all these new experiences that I'm enjoying that are at least just as good as Symphony of the Night was.
Right. Yeah. Maybe your answer might change if you hadn't have played Symphony of the Night before, and that and your first experience was there, and then you could draw the line in between that. But I mean, I can understand that too. I gotta say, my favorite retro game that you streamed was that one where the ice hockey game that you play.
Oh, Nikatsubu Hockey.
And especially you were streaming. I think you were playing with Vector on Canada Day. I think.
No, I was playing with Grenick. Me and Grenick were playing. Yeah, on
Sorry,
Canada
you're
Day.
playing with Grenick on Canada Day.
I was just
and
getting
he's like,
fucked up
this?"
on Caesars.
And he hits the baseball bat.
Oh
line.
yeah, the baseball goalie. Yeah, that game's so fun.
Man.
We gotta finish that game next time. Once COVID gets less ridiculous and stuff, or is gone. Next time you come down, Mike, we should just play through Nikatsu Hockey. That game's so fucking fun.
We played
man.
it a little bit, but I mean not anything.
Well,
of,
and we played it on the Famicom.
Famicom.
Yeah, we weren't playing on the Switch.
Yeah, so 100%. No, I agree. Those are solid choices. The last item on the list here
What was your favorite retro? Oh, you said Choplifter.
Yeah, Choplifter
For the Master
Choplifter.
System.
Yeah,
Right.
That was solid. That was
Yeah,
solid.
sorry.
Yonoid would be my half. If that's my
I
two,
just love
Yonoid
watching
would
you
be my
play.
half.
The two games I could just watch you play forever is Yonoid and like Super Punch Out. I want you to do a Super Punch Out stream. You got to do Super Punch Out.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. We'll work something out. 100%. The last item on the list here, and this came up because we were talking about this exact thing, but is the best game that you streamed that nobody wanted to watch.
This is the best topic.
The best game that you streamed that nobody wanted to watch you play it.
Fuck. Do you want to go first on this, or do you want me to go?
Why don't you go first?
Okay, I'll go
You
first.
go ahead.
Mine was Yakuza 7, man. It was like I had like Vector would pop in, but I think like this is a very story-driven game. I feel like when you've got a new game that's very story-driven, most of the people that are fans of your channel that have similar tastes to you are going to want to play that game. They don't want spoilers. I think that's the big reason. But yeah, my regular viewer count went from like 6 or 7 down to like 1 or 2 while I was playing that game. Nobody wanted to watch Yakuza 7. People would actually like Calamari would come in and be like, "Hey, how's it going? Oh, you're playing Yakuza 7. All right, I'm going to have to leave now." Like people came in and said that a lot cuz they didn't want spoilers, right? But
yeah, well, and it totally makes sense, and it's funny because the one time we were talking, you're like, "Yeah, I think I'm going to I got to hurry and do it because nobody wants to watch me play this game.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see the ending of it or something like that,
Yeah.
right?" And it's like yeah, I can totally understand that. The one that I picked, and this makes me sad. This makes me sad as a streamer. Okay, the best game that I played that nobody wanted to watch was Marbles on Stream.
What? Everybody wanted to watch that.
Nobody wanted to come in. The problem with it was that Marbles on Stream, you have to have a big chunk of viewers in chat, willing to put in chat, willing to interact with you, and ultimately willing to stick around. The problem was that typically led to people either leaving the stream, or if I started it and I'm like, "It's okay, people will join in," it was a race with one guy, one marble. Like my marble would be on the track and one other person's marble would be on the track.
Sucks.
And it's such a fun game.
It's fun,
so
yeah.
fun.
For a while there, you were having people come out just for marbles.
100%. And I mean, and I don't mean, yes, and I don't mean to say that it's bad or anything like that, but I think you need to have a certain viewer base before you can play stuff like that.
Yeah,
because if
that's
you don't
true.
have at least a consistent like 10 to 15 to 20 people in stream, you're just not going to get them in there, right? The closer runner up that I had would be things like when we were playing when I was going through my retro games. So like when I did do the Choplifter, the Ghost House, the Yonoid, I think at one point the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess had nobody.
Oh, really?
Nobody wanted to watch Twilight Princess either. But I mean, the reason why I picked Marbles was because it hurt the most as a streamer to play that game
because you need the chat. You're playing with chat, like it's literally based on that. Yeah, that makes sense.
It literally hinges on people being in chat. So unfortunately, that's that. I have no intention to drop it from rotation, but if most people who have been around have noticed, I kind of pulled way back on it just because. It's hard to be a streamer and play that and be like, well, since no one's here and I'm failing as a streamer, I guess we'll change the game now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it depends on what you're playing before it too. Like, if you're playing a game that like people are like not like a deep game, like if you're playing something like fucking what was that game, like that Revenant thing or whatever?
Remnant,
Remnant. If you're playing Remnant, the same people that want to watch Remnant probably aren't the same people that want to play Marbles. You know what I mean? But if you're playing Bomber Grounds or you know what I mean? Bomber Grounds, Among Us, you're playing that stuff. Those are the guys that are gonna want to stick around and probably play some Marbles and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and the thing is, I think in the new over the next few weeks, I want to do some more community nights where we play games like that, where people can just drop in. I would like to do a Jackbox if I could trust people to put answers in that wouldn't get me banned from Twitch.
I think we'd be okay. Like, we haven't had an issue with that yet, but
Yeah.
I think, we need to do, I think, Friday nights or every second Friday or third Friday or something like that.
Something.
We need to try and work something out, because definitely I had a blast doing Phasmophobia. We had a blast that night that we did Among Us. We just kind of made up our own rules and played. That was fun. We haven't been doing enough of that, and I apologize. It's been busy as fuck on my end.
It's just
kind of, it needs to work out for everyone, and that's kind of what makes that tough, right?
It's really hard to do community nights because of that exact thing. It's you have to find time that works for everybody. You have to find a game that works for everybody, and you have to make sure that everybody understands that playing a game together off stream isn't the same as playing a game together on stream.
Yeah, that's true too.
But there still has to be kind of those things. Like, we've done a few games of Harmony of Despair where you and I are the ones kind of standing off camera, and then we get comments afterwards that's kind of like, well, the stream's kind of boring when you're just standing there letting everybody else do all the things.
Oh,
right?
yeah, because when you're dead, when we were doing like grinding streams.
Yeah, it's one of those things that we kind of have to balance out a little bit. I mean, I'm chalking it up to being a new streamer, one of those things. But,
and we'll keep doing watch parties. Like, if you want to watch a movie or something, we'll try and get something put together every now and then for that.
Absolutely.
Those are usually fun too. Do you have any chat or anything you need to address? If not,
most of what I have in chat here. So Adamantium NYC is in here. He's saying he would say that 1996 and before he would classify as retro, and I think I would agree with that.
Yeah, but then I think you're dipping into PS1
you are
a little
dipping into
bit.
PS1 a little bit. PS1 was 1994. So, I mean, that's the thing. Maybe PS1 is retro.
I consider like 97 and older retro. Like Final Fantasy 7, I consider retro, but Final Fantasy 9, I don't consider retro.
Yeah, it's kind of on the edge of the other side of it. Right? So, then he also says Aria and Portrait, nice. You should play Symphony before Aria.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. That's the way to do it. I've been playing them in order. I've been playing all of them Sunday mornings.
Absolutely. What about over on the Dukio 3 front?
I think Adamantium was making fun of that other streamer when I was telling that story about how Ian wanted to follow that other streamer, but it was just Finny. And then Vector was just saying how almost every Sunday, I think I missed a couple for his Sunday breakfast things.
You know what? We'll let a couple slide.
Yeah,
don't let it happen again.
Just don't let it happen again. And then he said he thinks for him it was just bad timing with the Yakuza streams he wanted to watch, but there was always someone doing something. So
it's just one of those things. And again, that one's on there kind of more of as like a jokey side of the house. I don't regret streaming Marbles. I'm sure you don't regret streaming Yakuza.
I mean, I booked time off to play that game. Like
the thing is that, as you know, when there's nobody streaming, you want to always balance people in versus the fun that you're having by doing what it is, right? So I mean, I had always said from day one on my channel, like I'm doing the streaming for me. I'm happy that you guys are here to experience it with me, but ultimately at the end of the day, the reason why I'm here is because it's something that I want to do for me. So you kind of balance that out a little bit, but it is tough. Like you said, it is next to impossible to keep that positivity up when you have nobody watching.
Yeah. Especially if the game is absolute shit. Like fucking, oh man, some of those Xenoblade X fucking streams were just disheartening.
Those were rough ones.
Yeah.
Those were rough ones, but
anyways, I think it's time to start wrapping her all up.
It is, yeah.
Thank you guys all for coming out. I had a pretty decent turnout this time. Usually the live one doesn't get that great of a turnout. Again, if you miss this live on Twitch, it usually goes up on Wednesdays on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dookie03. So check that shit out. Join our Discord to stay in touch with both Mike and myself. We're both in there. I'll post the Discord link in the fucking description. And like I said, it's going to be changing. It's not going to be called Dookie03 Discord. It's going to be called Luminaries of the Live Stream. There's going to be some changes and stuff starting to get made and stuff like that. And yeah, I just want to let you guys know I appreciate all of you and everything you guys have done with and for our streams for the past year, man. It's been honestly, because of streaming, it's been a pretty decent year considering how fucking horrible it has also been.
Well, that's just it. I mean, since considering how disconnected everybody is, it's nice to know that we can rely on you guys. So, yeah, obviously, me as a streamer isn't somebody that exists without you, the viewer, right?
Yeah.
So, the fact that you guys are here time after time, following the channel, promoting the channel, just hanging out, being active, I can't personally thank you guys enough, and I'm looking forward to doing more. And this type of thing is something that we're going to be doing regularly. You know, we started doing this podcast. I like the idea of us kind of shouting out those members of our troops that are just awesome, you know, and
guys
I think
that are fucking
deserves
awesome that don't get enough credit, basically. Yeah.
Everybody deserves their spot in the spotlight, and I just I can't thank you guys enough. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you.
It's kind of funny. We were to kind of bring up something that Finney once said while I was streaming. It's nice that even though we're all apart and everyone had to be apart for pretty much this whole year, we still, as Finney would say, get to do what we would be doing anyways, and sitting around watching our friends play video games while hanging out. That's
right. Yeah.
When in high school, that's what we would do. I'd go to Finney's house, watch him play some games and talk, and he would come to my place, watch some games and talk.
Yep.
For whatever reason, we were almost always playing single player games, just watching each other play JRPGs and hanging out.
Timestamp from that point in time, I remember you playing Metal Gear Solid 2.
A lot. I played Metal Gear Solid 2. I could beat that game in under 2 hours. I played a lot of Metal Gear.
That's right.
But anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming out, and I hope you enjoy these. I am Dookie03.
I'm DG Online.
And we're
thank you very much.
I hope you guys had a decent year at the least, and a great year at the most. And we'll see you fine fucks in 2021.
That's right. More to come. Stay tuned.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
See ya.